We know that in the United States, about 3/4 of all homicides and about one half of all suicides involve the use of a firearm. State extreme risk protection order laws, or ERPO laws, allow family members, household members, and law enforcement officers to petition the court to restrict temporarily access to firearm for an individual who is at substantial risk of harm to self or others. So this was the first study, statewide study, of ERPO law in Washington state, and one of the first statewide studies of ERPO laws anywhere in the United States. So our study period was between December 8th, 2016, when the Washington state ERPO law went into effect, to May 10, 2019. During that period of time, we found that there were 237 respondents. Those are individuals who are at substantial risk of harming themselves or others anywhere in Washington state. So we focused our attention on those 237 individuals. We reviewed all court records to really understand better what were the circumstances around filing the ERPO, what were some of the reasons for filing the ERPO, what were some of the characteristics of respondents and petitioners. The overwhelming majority of these ERPOs were filed by law enforcement officers, which obviously indicates an opportunity to promote community awareness about ERPO laws, because household members and family members can also petition for ERPOs. We found that about 1/4 of respondents had a history of domestic violence perpetration. About 62% had a history of suicidal ideation or behavior. About 37% had a history of criminal justice system encounter. And about 47% had a history of substance misuse. This is an opportunity for us to prevent and to act during a time when we usually don't have the opportunity to intervene, which is that moment of crisis. We usually react after the fact. This law provides an opportunity to intervene during a time that is extremely valuable and important, especially out of Connecticut and Indiana, because those two states, as I mentioned earlier, they had the earliest date in terms of implementation of ERPO laws. The preliminary evidence that we have from those states indicate that these laws are effective in preventing cases of suicide. So for about every 10 to 20 ERPOs that were granted, one life was saved. Because as part of the process, further attention to issues of mental health care and mental health treatment actually is pronounced. So I think one of the advantages of this type of work is that not only do we potentially prevent harm and injury by intervening in that window of opportunity, but also we may be able to provide services and help to respondents that may not have been available otherwise. We need more of these studies at the state level to be able to understand the picture in each state and also do cross-states comparisons about features of the ERPO law. And ultimately, I think what is the most exciting will be to actually examine the effectiveness of these laws in preventing harm, in saving lives, and reducing injuries.